I've always been really drawn to transformation and the idea of possibility. And I never ever question a woman's beauty when they come to me. I am 100% confident in the fact that I can help you pull that out of yourself and show it to me in front of the camera.
Even when you can't see it yourself.
Yes. My biggest thing is, are you open to the process of seeing your beauty?
I say this all the time, and I learned this from Sue, is that when you pass, if you don't want to take any photos of yourself, the moment you pass away, your children, your family, your friends, everybody will go to look for photos of you, and what will they find?
I love to hear that, because that is the power of a portrait.
Welcome to the Mop Wanna Read Show. Today we got my friend Esther with us, and she is going to definitely take us on this beautiful journey. She grew up Amish, and then she became a photographer. She lived in New York. She lived a bunch of places. So get ready for this episode. It's going to be so good. Welcome to the show, Esther. I'm so happy you are here.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to start off with take me on your journey. So there's this thing that I call is her job. Her job is journey on becoming. Take me on your journey on becoming who you are today.
Awesome. Well, my journey starts in an Amish household. I was born and raised Amish. I am the 9th of 11 siblings.
Wow.
I grew up on a 100-acre dairy farm. My dad was a dairy farmer all my life. We had all the cows, chickens, horses. And as the 9th of 11 siblings, when my oldest siblings were 18 and 19, they didn't want to stay Amish anymore, my oldest sister specifically. And so my dad at that time made the decision to transplant our family from our Amish community, where I was born and raised in Michigan, to a Mennonite community in a small town in upstate New York. And that was a huge shift for us at a very, early time in my life. It was a big decision for our family, but it did impact all of us. And looking back now, I always think about the fact that my parents making that decision was my first example that you can really reinvent yourself and start over and create a new reality for yourself. They've not always been supportive of my decisions to do that in my life, but they were the first examples for me to be able to see that can be done.
Yeah.
And at that point,
you could always change.
You can always change. Yeah. And at that point, we lost touch with both sets of my grandparents because we were the first in my dad's family to leave the Amish, and we were the first on my mom's side of the family to leave the Amish. I have over 200 first cousins. My mom is the oldest of 12. My dad is the fourth of 14. We have a very large extended family. My mom is still the only one in her family who isn't Amish, and since we left maybe 30 years ago, I don't know, it was a long time ago, 2001, we left the Amish.
Wow.
Since then, about half of my dad's
siblings. And how old were you when you left?
I was 8 years old.
Wow. Okay.
I was 8 years old. Yeah. So from there, we moved to a Mennonite community in New York, and a lot of things stayed the same as far as lifestyle and way of living. But there were definitely significant changes as well. We then had cars, we had electricity, we had more modern conveniences, which we did not have when we were Amish.
Okay.
When we were Mennonite, and then growing up for most of my teen years.
So is that still part of the Amish community, or is that something completely different?
They came from the same origin.
Okay.
Back in the 1700s, right? In Switzerland, the Anabaptist Reformation is where the Amish and the Mennonites both came from. The Amish wanted to hold really tightly to the traditions of the time. They kept their language, they kept their, English was not my first language. I speak a dialect of Pennsylvania, or of German, which is called Pennsylvania Dutch, and that was my first language. It's yeah, it's kind of similar to German. I can kind of understand German.
Okay. Say something. Say something like, my name is Esther.
Mein Name ist Esther.
Oh.
It's still, I still know it, but in the years since, I think in English, I dream in English, I process in English.
Right.
It takes a little bit of effort to speak it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think I should teach my kids, but I'm not teaching my kids Pennsylvania Dutch. Just because, I'm the only one who speaks it around, here. And so, anyway, yeah, so I think one of the biggest shifts in the community that we moved to in New York when we joined the Mennonites was the shift of mindset when we were Amish, it was all about holding to tradition. Mm-hmm. That was why you did all the things. You listened to the church leadership, and the leadership was basically preserving the traditions. Yes, they taught the Bible. Yes, they preached about God and what was righteous and holy, right? But when we became Mennonite, there was a shift in the mindset of, it wasn't about tradition. It wasn't about obeying the rules to stay within the laws of the church. It was now about, how much are you doing to be righteous? Or now what you're doing is to be good in the eyes of God, not to be right in the eyes of the church or to hold tradition. Now it was all of the things we were given as guidelines for our life was now about how good of a person you are in the eyes of God. And I think that shift really shaped me, who I became in my life. I don't know. I think I have a propensity towards piety. Like I'm a very sincere person. I grew up always wanting to make sure I did everything right and pleased everyone, and I always had a desire to lead a righteous and holy life. And so I did the absolute best that I could in that community and according to what I was taught, right? And I think I was about 16, 17. I was like 17 years old when I realized that all the effort I was putting in and all the examples that I was seeing around me, I didn't want it. I didn't want the life that I saw being lived, the examples of the people around me. I was like, I don't want to do this. And it was a revelation for myself to realize that what righteousness, holiness, like following that light that you're meant to follow, the God that you're supposed to serve, it didn't feel right. And I didn't know that was hugely scary for me to even admit.
But what you were taught, did you feel like, am I going to go to hell? Like if I change, or did you think I also can choose something different because my parents did? Yeah, I think I definitely was at a place where I was like, this can't be what it's supposed to be. Yeah. And so I didn't think that questioning that meant that automatically I was damned. I know a lot of the young people who grew up in that world who chose to question things. They immediately, they just thought they were going to hell. And they just accepted their fate, kind of. That was never my mindset. I was like, I just think what I'm being taught is wrong. I don't know. Okay, so also at that point, my older siblings, they kept pushing the boundaries. And by the time I came along and started asking these questions, I do think I had more perspective. Yeah. I was always close to my siblings, even if they were kind of off doing their own thing or off on the deep end a little bit, asking all the crazy questions. I always looked up to them, and I was always open to their perspectives. And so
and I still remain really close to almost all of my siblings still. And being a part of a big family has really shaped me. But by the time I came along and was asking these questions, I do think I had perspective that maybe they didn't have. I had more permissions maybe than they had when they were in my shoes. My parents at that point kind of expected us to push the boundaries and ask the questions. But I think I did so from a place of being like, what if nothing is actually... what if I could like fully redefine everything that I believe? And I remember like going to the foundation of like, what if God isn't God? Like, what does that mean? And going that deep into the fabric of what I had been taught. And that was a really scary time in my life, but I also trusted that my intuition and my inner guidance would guide me. I just trusted that. I had a really strong connection with my spirituality and with my connection to God, and I just remember talking to God one day and being like, if this isn't what it is, or if this isn't how I'm meant to think about you or believe in you, I just think you're going to show me what it's supposed to be or what it could be. And I just was open to that process. And I just really, really trusted my inner guidance to lead me in my discovery. And so I just did a lot of things in that season of my life. I went to a 12-week discipleship program, which, looking back now, was so instrumental in taking me along the path I was meant to go on. I traveled. I did mission work in Ecuador for about 3 years, traveling down there different times. I was pretty good at Spanish for a while. I'm not that good anymore. But I was really heavily involved in children's ministry there. And so I would teach the kids. And about 5 out of 7 days of the week, we had programs for kids in the area. And that was so rewarding. I traveled with my camera. So the way I discovered photography is in that season of asking a lot of questions and going through all of this like upheaval and turmoil in my 17, 18, late teenage years, I had my brother's camera. It would just sit in the office, and I was like, I should just take pictures. And so I started taking pictures of anything I thought was beautiful, and I would pull up these YouTube videos on how to get like bokeh creamy backgrounds, and I tried to just get creative and take photos of things that I enjoyed and loved. And my camera really became a tool of like creativity and self-expression in my life during that season. And when I traveled, I would take it with me. I did all of these portraits for the kids in Ecuador. I traveled to Italy. I did these gorgeous landscapes.
How old were you again at this age? At this time?
This was between 18 and 21. So there was about 3 years where I had gotten a full-time bookkeeping job at a company that was run by one of the gentlemen in our community. So even though I had no experience, they're like, okay, they had 5 companies they were running under one roof, and I had a full-time job working in a cubicle 5 days a week, and at 18. And about 6 months in, I was like, oh, this isn't it. I'm 18. Why am I doing this? So I quit and went to Ecuador for 3 months. But then at that point, I had the reputation as the girl who knows how to do bookkeeping. And so I kept getting these little gigs with other people in our community. And so between taking photos and traveling, I would do bookkeeping, and that was kind of my thing. And I was still living at home with my parents. And this is also where I discovered Creative Live, because I'm YouTubing all of this photography education.
This is perfect, because my next question was, like, how does this lead into photography?
So all of that being such a time of exploration in my life, I just was soaking in all of this knowledge of photography. And what I kept coming back to is I loved photographing faces. That was always the thing that my favorite photos that I created were always portraits and faces, people. So when I discovered Sue Bryce on Creative Live, girl, I literally had Creative Live up on my computer like 24/7. And as long as it was the live broadcast, right, you could get it for free. And I just logged in and was soaking up everything I could on every photography course from Lindsay Adler, Sue Bryce, all of
Jasmine
the
Star,
yes,
everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Photoshop courses. And that's when I first heard your name, because you were in a live audience
with Sue
at Creative Live. And
I was one of her first students.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I think something about Sue Bryce's work is that, and I was telling you this on the phone too, but Sue Bryce really taught me to trust myself in ways that went beyond just photography and my camera. It was really her teaching that helped me to see that I could use the camera as a tool in my hand to create a really transformational experience. And it was a transformational tool for myself, first of all, because it was my avenue of exploring my own vision, my own creativity in the world. And that was something that, as a little girl growing up in the Mennonite world and the Amish world, feminine empowerment isn't a thing, right? Like, you have a very specific role to play. I was taught that your role as a woman is to be a servant. Like, we were taught that. You would pour the glass of water for the man and go give him the glass of water, and then you serve yourself. Great. Hey, works for some people, right? But we weren't taught our power. We weren't taught we weren't taught what we hold and what we bring to the table. And so my camera was just my way of, like, speaking that and sharing that. And then it began to be noticed by the people around me, and I started doing families in the parks and that kind of thing. And it just slowly grew into something that I realized could take on a life of its own.
Yeah. You're like, I could make a business out of this. I could make money. Yeah.
But also, because of the photography education I was getting at that time through all of the professionals on Creative Live, I realized I didn't want to just jump into it just willy-nilly, right? Like, I knew that I needed a why, and I knew I needed to have a clear vision of where I wanted to go with it, and I had to have a niche, right? And so it wasn't until 2015, when I was 23, that it was like after 2 years of really honing my craft and knowing that I wanted to go into portraiture specifically, that I then took the leap and started my business, registered my business. At the bookkeeping job that I was working at the time, I have such good people in my life. I've had in this whole journey. They had a dead space in a warehouse upstairs, and literally it was furnished, or it was built out, but it hadn't been lived in or cleaned since like the 70s. It had these asbestos floors and green walls, and they're like, if you want to clean it and make it yours, you can take your clients up there and shoot. And it was a huge space. I had 3 massive rooms, and it was in the middle of winter in northern New York, and the heating wasn't great. So I would like bring in these, I would bring in these radiators and infrared heaters to try to keep the space warm. And I'd bring in a makeup artist. I did the whole thing. I cleaned it. I put tulle on the ceiling to hide all of the holes. It was a vibe in there. I made a table out of pallet slats. I convinced my brothers to like bring some pallets. I put them together.
When you're in the process of building, though, like, you're just so excited. Like
great.
You don't see the holes in the wall. All you see is possibility, right?
Exactly.
You're just like, I could do this and I could do that, and now I have this space.
So I built my whole first portfolio in that space.
Wow.
And it was great. And so I was only in there for about 9 months, I think, because then the company moved. And it was at that point that I had a business and I had clientele. And that's when I decided to move out of my parents' house, get an apartment in downtown, and downtown Watertown. It was not New York. Downtown Watertown. It's like 20 minutes from Canada. Maybe like 15,000 people in this town. The biggest thing there is it's a army base. So Fort Drum is right there, and that's what really brings a lot of people to the area. Yeah, small town, upstate New York, but I got I think it was maybe like a 900 square foot apartment, 1,000 square foot apartment in downtown. Yeah. And I had a 2-bedroom, had an office in one, and set up my studio in the living room, and that was my second studio. The decisions I was making as in my early 20s was okay, because at that point I was realizing, like, oh, conforming to the rules, wearing dresses made by hand,
serving the man his water.
Yes.
Like, not for me, not for me.
Always listening to my dad without ever questioning anything.
That's the thing, though. I feel like for a lot of women, but it's not only in that religion. There's a lot of religions that, like, women are underneath the man, and it's like, and that doesn't work for me either. I'm just like, no, like, I feel like I see eye to eye to you. Like, I don't feel like I need to be your servant. Yeah. Or I'm under you. Like, you are my partner, and we are equal in this. Yeah.
No, we were taught from the pulpit that there's this umbrella of God-given authority where God is at the top, and then it's the church, and then it's the man, and then it's the wife, and then it's the children. And if at any point you're out of order, then you're outside of this umbrella of protection.
Yeah. Put me in the rain and let's just dance.
Thank you. I'm going to dance in the rain.
Yeah, like, put me in the rain. I'm all good. I want to dive deep into now, how do you see beauty? So coming from the Amish community and the way they see women. So now that you're a photographer, how do you see women that you photograph? The beauty in them. How do you see the beauty in all the women that you photograph?
That's such a great question, because I'm literally transported back to sitting in a 3-hour-long Mennonite church service as a 10-year-old, and just like looking at the little ladies in the pews in front of me, and I would spend the hour of preaching imagining, or like almost just being like, okay, what would it look like if they had a makeover or a transformation? Like, what if they had a really pretty dress and they had their hair done really nice? Because these are the ladies with 11 kids who come to church, not really having taken care of themselves too much, and I'm like, okay,
because they don't have time.
Right, exactly. And so and I say that because I've always been really drawn to transformation and the idea of possibility. And
but that stems back from you. All of it stems back to the way how you grew up, and your parents first leaving, and you being able to see that transformation, and your siblings stepping outside that comfort zone, and you seeing that, and then you stepping out and stuff.
I always have had a vision for possibility, like what could be created, what beauty is there that we can celebrate and that we can enhance and that we can bring to life, bring to the surface. And so I do think that now in my work, and the question of every woman's beauty as they come to me, like, there's no question of beauty. And I think sometimes especially when I first started doing this work, I would get the question of, like, well, what do you do when you work with people who aren't photogenic? Or, all your clients are beautiful. And I'm like, yes, exactly. Every
you will
single
photograph
person.
what you see. So if someone and that's like a lot of times when I used to do photography, people would be like, how do you photograph someone who is hard to photograph? And I'm just like, it's a gift that you have. Like, if you can see beauty, you will photograph what you see. But if all you can see is like a woman who's overweight and all that stuff, then that's all you're going to photograph. But it's like the way you feel and the way you see is what you will produce. Yeah.
And I mean, I never ever question a woman's beauty when they come to me.
Right?
Like, I am 100% confident in the fact that I can help you pull that out of yourself and show it to me in front of the camera.
Even when you can't see it yourself.
My biggest thing is, are you open to the process of seeing your beauty? Are you open to going on this journey of exploration and seeing yourself maybe in a different way? If you don't think you're photogenic, or you don't think you could look like my other amazing clients, you can. And this is your opportunity to embrace the journey. And so I try to make the process of getting ready for your photo shoot really intentional. Obviously, we meet in person to plan the details of what you want to wear, how you want to feel, how you want to see yourself, how you want to display your photos, perhaps. But then I also share a journal, a list of journal prompts to just help you take that journey for yourself. Dive into it a little bit deeper. What about your journey are you honoring in this photo shoot? How do you want your kids to remember you?
I say this all the time, and I learned this from Sue, is that when you pass, if you don't want to take any photos of yourself, the moment you pass away, your children, your family, your friends, everybody will go to look for photos of you, and what will they find? And if you don't, what will they find?
Every person that I've photographed who has passed on, guess whose photo they're using when they are sharing their obituary, or when they, and it feels like every time that happens, because I have been in the industry now for 10 years, and it's definitely happened quite a few times, and it just is so, I just feel the weight of the value of the work I do, of the portraits that I create when
These
I
are the
see
photos that they will forever be remembered by.
Yes.
So I remember taking a photo. There's a bunch because I've done photography for so long. But I went to a funeral, and I remember walking in and seeing a big portrait of the husband. And I always tell all the husbands, like, okay, I'm going to take your photos. Like, give me like 1 minute. Let me just take a picture of you. And the husbands never want to do it. But then we did it. And I remember walking in, and I saw that photo, and I thought, that picture that I took, it's huge now. And this is forever how his children will remember him. And I remember thinking, like, he's looking at me. Like, this is something that I created for their family. So what you're doing is, it goes beyond portraits.
It absolutely
It goes
does.
beyond a pretty photo.
It absolutely
It's way
does.
beyond that.
I recently had a mom, she booked me when she was turning 40 this year. So she booked me for her 40th year. And she's like, Esther, I just feel like I always look like I'm 16 in all my pictures. I just want to look grown. I want to look mature.
Normally women are the other way around. They're like, I want to go that way, not this way.
She's like, I want to look glam and strong and serious. I want people to take me seriously. And she recently came to pick up her prints, and I had sent her digital gallery over before, and she was saying how she has this gallery on her phone at work, and if nobody's taking her seriously at work, she'll pull out her phone, she'll look through her gallery of photos, and she'll walk back into the meeting ready to have that conversation again, because she's like, oh, this is who I am. This is how I'm going to show up. I'm going to lift my shoulders. I'm going to stand a little taller, and I'm going to own my wrinkles and my fine lines with pride, and I'm going to walk in there. And I love to hear that, because that is the power of a portrait.
It is.
You see yourself in a way that maybe you don't see yourself every day as,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. But that woman still lives within you.
She's there.
She's always there.
She's
She would never
always
leave you. She's always there. Yeah.
And I think that is one of the biggest things that I want my clients to take home with them, to remember, to carry with them, is that you are already her. You are her.
Yeah.
Maybe we just pulled her out and we used a little magic to, give her some extra radiance today.
Yeah.
But you are her, and she is you.
And she's never left you.
She's never left you. She's not going to leave you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have that strength. You have that magnetism.
Yeah.
You have that radiance right inside you. And all you got to do is just be her. That's it.
Yeah. Especially for moms, it's so important.
For mamas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for mamas. I know that you have an event coming up for mamas. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm a twin mom. I have 2.5-year-old twins. And when I was pregnant and getting ready to go on maternity leave, I had this sort of like stirring. I knew I wanted to do something for moms specifically in my portrait work. And so, I mean, ever since I started my business in 2015, my work has always been about creating transformational portraits in my studio typically. And then when I got back from maternity leave, I launched the Empowered Mama Portrait Experience. And this is a one-on-one photo shoot with me where I have curated an experience that's specific to motherhood. So I photograph moms in all seasons of motherhood. It's I have moms who are just welcoming their first baby, moms who have experienced loss or are going through IVF. I have moms who are sending off their first out of the nest, and grandmas who are really just celebrating the legacy that they've created, and they just love being a grandma and being in this season of life. And so, and as a new mom coming back from maternity leave, it was really cathartic almost for me to do these portraits for moms, because I was in this season that I had tried so hard to prepare myself for, and I couldn't prepare myself out of the identity crisis I was having as a new mom of twins. And it was just really cathartic for me to work with other moms, to create work for moms, to celebrate motherhood, to showcase the stories of moms. And so besides the photo shoot experience, I also featured these moms on my social medias and my blog posts. I do a quick interview right after their session. It's usually about 15-20 minute conversation. We just sit down, we talk about what this photo shoot meant for them. We talk about their nuggets of wisdom as a mom, and then I pull excerpts from that and I share it on my platforms. And then the culmination of this Empowered Mama Portrait Experience is an exhibition that I'm hosting.
That is so exciting.
On October 17th. This is 2 years of work in my Empowered Mama Portrait Experience. I am calling it Volume 1 because I'm going to continue to do this work for mothers. It's been incredibly fulfilling for me. It's been massively well received in the community. I've had so many moms resonating with this portrait experience and this mission. And this event that we're doing it's a celebration event. It's a one-night exhibition of 44 moms that I've photographed over the last 2 years.
I love that, 44.
44, right?
Yeah. That's
and
a good number.
It's really turning this one-on-one experience that I've had with all of these moms into a movement for the community to come around, to celebrate the local mothers in our community. I'm partnering with the Women's Fund of Hawaiʻi, a local nonprofit, to support initiatives for women and girls in the community as well. And all the proceeds from the sales of the artwork that these mamas can purchase is going to go directly to the Women's Fund of Hawaiʻi. And this is just my way of inviting the women in my community, the clients that I've photographed, the women who've experienced this, to be a part of a movement that really elevates motherhood, that celebrates our stories, our strengths and our struggles, and creates a community where we can come together and rally around each other and support each other. So October 17th from 5 to 8 p.m.
Okay. And how does someone get tickets? Is it going to be tickets for sale, or if someone wants to come in and attend?
So on my Captured Imagery Instagram, you can usually find all the things. That's a great way to find me. But then also on my website, so capturedImagery.co/exhibit is my ticket page. And all the details are there. We have a VIP option if you want to come in and hear the moms share their stories. I have a couple of moms lined up to talk about their experience. I'm going to be doing a VIP artist walkthrough and highlight some of the stories of the moms that I've photographed. and walk you guys through that. General admission, I'm gonna share a little bit more about my story and the mission and vision behind it, and the power of the work that we're doing. And yeah, it's going to be a beautiful evening. We're going to have live music, good food.
Oh, so exciting.
Bubbly, all the things.
Yeah. I loved it.
And of course, 44 beautiful portraits.
That's
of
amazing.
Moms, displayed
Yeah.
here.
Wow. I love it.
I'm
Thank you
so
much.
excited. It's definitely going to be an evening to remember.
For
And,
sure. Yeah. And to highlight these moms, to see the beauty in all of them, and to bring them front and center versus like what you grew up as, where the woman is not front and center, Yeah.
It does feel like a bit of a full circle
Totally
moment for me. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your
Martha.
story and your journey.
Thank you. I'm just so grateful for you and like all the examples that you've given me throughout the years, and being able to be here and have this conversation is really, really cool.
I love it. Thank you.